The Fourth and Goal Podcast.
That's all it is. But there's a lot of airspace to cover for Milroe. Still looking. Firing. Near corner. It's caught! Touchdown, Alabama!
Strebler dials it up. End zone! Touchdown!
They're going to snap it, and it's Trey Burton who throws caught. Foles! Touchdown!
There ain't no podcast like the Fourth and Goal Podcast. Like, hit that subscribe button and share.
Welcome to the Fourth and Goal Podcast. Here I am. I'm JP. Next to my right or left, I can't tell. My left right now, the way I'm looking, is my son, Noah Drury. Looking like a chia pet with that afro going. I see you, boy. And then to my right, maybe your guys' left, is our boy Andrew Burns, rocking the 70s stash. We love it. We got an action-packed...
It's not Noah's fault. He looks like a chia pet. You didn't raise him.
Oh, boy. We got an action-packed show today. We're going to break down this week's slate of college football games a little bit better this week. We'll get into some NFL stuff. Really quick, want to touch on a couple things. The Detroit Tigers, Minnesota Twins, blew a second game in a row in extra innings, and they're now knotted up with the Tigers for that final wild card spot. Things are heating up in the D, and look for us to pick up on some of this Tiger coverage moving forward. Also, Andrew reminded me quick before the show, obviously Shohei Ohtani had a big day today, three home runs, 10 RBI. He's actually the first player in Major League history to join the 50-50 club, which is 50 home runs and 50 steals. The guy's an ace of a pitcher, kind of wild. If you guys,
He's an alien.
yeah,
he was made in a lab, which would kind of make sense for the Eastern Hemisphere.
Yeah.
But...
and it's crazy because he's out here, dude. He's out here swiping bags, and he's a big dude. You know what I mean?
No, I mean he is single-handedly like just amazing at everything, which is not typical for a baseball player. Typically, you're like, yeah, you have your 5-tool prospects, and you have your guys that are amazing with power, and then your speed guys. But he's just different.
Andrew, did you see the guys fighting over the 50-50 ball?
Yes.
Oh,
I would
God.
too.
You know what would be when you said 50-50, something came to my head. What happens if like a player bought a 50-50 ticket and like they won it in a game? I think that would be sad.
I mean, hey.
Isn't that
not that they need the money, especially in baseball sometimes, but
isn't that technically gambling?
Well, it could be, yeah.
Yeah.
But I just felt like that was a couple noteworthy things to touch on real quick. We have a busy show. We're gonna try to push it all out like the Phoenix Suns. We're gonna move into the Friday slate of college football first. A game tomorrow night at 7:30 is Stanford and Syracuse. I added this one to the mix because I felt like Syracuse maybe is on their way to being a ranked team. They're an 8.5-point favorite. They're coming off 2 30-point-plus games and an impressive win over Georgia Tech. Quarterback matchup, Kyle McCord versus Ashton Daniels, who's a decent dual threat quarterback for Stanford. So this is going to be our first one, boys. Let's kick it off.
Yeah, as the number one fan of the Kyle McCord fan club, if you guys don't know, I'm a big Kyle McCord guy this year. No, honestly, my breakdown of this game, and it's just I like to assess by personnel unit. Stanford, they got to be able to run the ball if they want to have any success against the Syracuse team. Syracuse is going to be able to light them up if they are able to maintain a lot of possession in this game. And Ashton Daniels has been their leading rusher. And then they don't have a running back over 100 yards in 3 games, which is or 2 games, which is kind of concerning. So Ashton Daniels is going to be relied on a lot. And I mean, you have decent guys at receiver for Stanford, but Syracuse has done a good job of playing at all levels, and they've been able to run the ball a little bit too. But I see Syracuse coming away in this one, man. I don't think Stanford's really just matchup wise on offense, defense, special teams. Stanford's just kind of at a deficit at every position.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Stanford, for one, Syracuse is going to have a game plan where they abuse Stanford secondary. I think TCU gave them the game plan. They tore them up for 353 yards week 1. and Syracuse with Kyle McCord is if they can
Yeah,
do that, it's going to be
Kyle McCord's better than Josh Hoover. Although I will say TCU might have the better receiving room, but
maybe. But the guy getting them the ball isn't as good.
Yeah,
I'd take Cuse in this game and just let Kyle McCord play backyard football.
All right. Well, also in tomorrow night's slate at 8:00, we have a Big Ten ranked matchup as the Illinois Illini are traveling to Nebraska. Now, this is a 24 versus 22 game here. Nebraska's favored by 7.5 here. Dylan Raiola's bringing an unbeaten Nebraska team against an unbeaten Illinois team. Illinois has actually pulled out their last 2 games when visiting Memorial Stadium. So this will be an interesting game, and I'm interested to hear what the boys got to say about this one.
Yeah, I think this game is really going to come down to defense because especially you look at Altmaier and you look at Raiola, Altmaier has 2 less passes for 30 less yards, the same amount of touchdowns. The only difference is Raiola has a pick. And I don't remember the exact time it happened. I'm marking that up to him being a true freshman because that's.
I want to say it came again. I want to say it came against UTEP, but
I don't. But still, if it's UTEP, that's week 1. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But then you look down the line, the stables on both teams very similar again. Though Nebraska's is a little different. I've dubbed them in my notes Thunder, Lightning, and the Storm because they've got Dante Dowdell, who's the Thunder. He's 6'4", 230. Emmett Johnson, he's fast. And then Ramir Johnson is the Storm. He's your pass catcher out of the backfield. And these 3 guys are going to cause absolute fits for Brett Bielema and his defense, which usually prides itself on stopping the run and having a great linebacker and safety core with pretty good corners to cover. But a lot of those guys have gone to the league. But I think if the Illini can get pressure on Raiola, I mean, they've already caused 9 turnovers this season through 3 games, which is kind of crazy. I didn't realize Illinois was like that. I was not aware of their game.
I was not familiar with your game.
Exactly. And Brett Bielema is also 11-4 on the road since he's gone to Illinois, which I think that's got to play a little bit. He seems to always get the Illini ready for these games. But Nebraska's marching Raiola out, true freshman. If the Illini can get after him, cause some problems, similar to what we're going to break down with USC Michigan later on, things could happen. Illinois could break it out, continue that streak of winning in Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, to kind of feed off you a little bit, I think if you're the Illini in this game, obviously you have to get it to your pass catchers that have been hot so far. Zachary Franklin, who was a standout at UTSA, went to Ole Miss last year, was injured and just really couldn't fit into the rotation at wide receiver. Comes to Illinois, and he's been a standout so far for them, being a big play guy, being able to come up with clutch receptions against Kansas. And then Pat Bryant, who's been their standout one. I'm not the biggest Altmaier fan, I'll be honest. When they put in John Paddock last year, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But I think if Illinois can establish some sort of ground game and be able to move the ball offensively and stay on schedule, I think they could actually be pretty likely victors here. Now, on the flip side, Nebraska is also pretty good at defense, and it's kind of just who can throw each other off script and who can take the punches and counter. I think that's really going to be the breakdown and kind of just who comes out in this game victorious. It's not going to be a 42-38 Big 12 type game. I mean, this is going to come down to being like 27-20, 24.
This game is going to be a classic Big Ten West matchup.
Right. And I mean, it should be. Both these teams are Big Ten West teams. And I mean, both these teams the last couple of years have prided themselves on defense and winning the field position battle. And yeah, that's really going to be who comes out the victor.
Yeah. Who would have thought, looking back in the beginning of the year that in week 4 we would have Illinois and Nebraska highlighted, but
I mean, maybe Nebraska, like we kind of assumed Nebraska was going to be like a team of conversation, but yeah, the Illinois surprised me because they were not good last year and they lost a couple studs like Johnny Newton and Isaiah Williams off their team. And then, but now they're able to rebuild and come back. So shout out to him and shout out to Brett Bielema. He's a good football coach.
I know that I'll have my eyes on this tomorrow. Andrew, you want to say something on this?
I was just going to say I love that these teams are stepping up and being ranked, but they are my least favorite of the 3 Big Ten teams that no one thought would do anything. Shout out the Hoosiers and the best offense in the Big Ten.
Dude, you've developed some kind of love affair for Indiana over the last week that
oh my
is unparalleled to any love affair there is.
All right, Andrew,
so much.
If you're such a big Indiana fan, where did Curtis Warwick come from?
That's a great question.
Ohio. So obviously he's not that big of a fan.
No. Well,
no,
he's
I
still,
just like
watching
watching them. I don't care about the actual team. I just like there's.
I don't care about the team, just when they're on my TV.
Exactly. Yeah. It's an entertainment product at the end of the day.
Yeah,
so, we'll have eyes on this one tomorrow. Also kicking off the noon slate on Saturday. Another game we'll have eyes on for a different reason. Contrary to the game that we just talked about that we weren't looking ahead to, this one I think we were, and maybe not so much anymore. NC State going to number 21 Clemson. Clemson 20.5-point favorites. Grayson McCall is out. Freshman CJ Bailey getting his first start. Clemson coming off an impressive 46-point win over Appalachian State.
Which they just got housed by something.
I know that we're starting to believe in Clemson a little bit more in this group and think that they're playing good football. And NC State, kind of a team that's on the downward slide right now, and obviously starting a freshman.
If you're NC State, you wish you had MJ Morris. I know he's hurt, not starting at Maryland right now, but just having no consistency or continuity or really having a quarterback room to begin with. I know you expect McCall to come in, but dude, he was hurt all last year and really wasn't able to develop as a player. Why he's still in college and not in the NFL. I mean, the thing I take away from this game is if you're Clemson, you got to get Westco the ball. You got to get Bringstool. You got to get Antonio Williams. You got to feed Phil Maffa. You need to just get this offense to continue to roll because you're going to be in an ACC schedule where ACC's not tough, but they do have some teams that are pretty good. So, like, for example, like when you go to play at home versus Louisville, Pittsburgh looks like it's going to be a tough game. And like games like South Carolina, man, like those, you need to show that you're able to maybe build up your roster to where you're going to compete against Georgia in the college football playoff. I think that's really the direction that Clemson's got to go. I don't care about NC State. Kevin Concepcion's an amazing player, but that team's trash.
Yeah, honestly, for me, I'm normally a big stats guy, and I go off what the numbers can tell me plus what my eyes tell me. But when I was looking, I was trying to find a way that Clemson was going to dominate this game, and I see that. Like you watch App State, and oh my God, Klubnik threw for 380 yards on 24-26 passing. But I also think back, I saw Georgia punch him in the mouth, and they basically went and cried in the corner.
Right.
So I've seen NC State claw back, and they rallied last week behind CJ Bailey. For some, like the freshmen came in and they were a different team, or almost a different team, it looked like. And I'm curious if
Louisiana Tech's maybe like the 100th best team. Like they're not a good football program.
Right.
Like,
but what I'm saying is they showed the backbone. If they throw the first punch against Clemson and give them a bloody nose,
maybe, but
NC
State's not a good. They do not have the personnel on defense to compete. Okay, you're allowing points to FCS school. Like if you were really that good, you would hold these teams to like 14 points. You wouldn't let them get leads on you. Like it's just not the making of a good football program. Like I respect Dave Doran and what he's done at NC State. Don't get me wrong, but this is not a team like that's going to be able to compete. Like, I'm sorry. And I don't like Cade Klubnik. I'm not as big as
so guy. That was what I was going to ask you guys. I wanted to ask both you guys is Cade Klubnik going to lead Clemson to an ACC championship?
I mean, maybe they can avoid if Miami somehow does not make the ACC championship, then yes. But
if they don't, then Louisville's going to play them, and Louisville's still going to smack them in the face.
I wouldn't go that far. Clemson's got really good people. Like, I don't think Cade Klubnik's that much worse than Stetson Bennett. And I think even though, yes, they got housed by Georgia, bro, this Clemson team is going to be way different in week 10 than they are going to be in week 1.
I'm just
Clemson's
out on Clemson.
Noah's on that Clemson train right now, big time.
Well, they have the talent, bro. They do.
I don't think NC State wins, but I don't think it's pretty. And I think it's very similar to the cap we gave on Illinois, Nebraska. It's going to be a slap fest, and it's going to be defense, and shitty offense.
I think Clemson's going to be able to hit some gadget plays and get going in this game.
And that'll be the difference.
Okay. Well, let's stick in the ACC then. 3:30 game, Georgia Tech traveling to number 19, Louisville. Louisville, 10-point favorite. Traveling to L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium. If that doesn't sound intimidating to go play, holy shit!
Pulling that one out of your bag of tricks, I see.
Yeah,
bro, the radio broadcaster is gonna have a fun time saying.
Oh my god, say that 10 times over again.
Right?
No.
Georgia Tech bringing in my boy Haynes King. I think this is going to be a solid game. I think I know where Noah's going to go. Andrew, kind of interested to see where you're going to go on this one.
I mean,
Louisville.
Yeah. I mean, dude, if I don't see Georgia Tech stopping the run against Louisville, and Louisville has been able to, granted, they've played some pretty weak competition, don't get me wrong, but I think Louisville, unless Georgia Tech's really able to dominate stopping the run and able to hit their home run plays, I don't see this going well for Georgia Tech. I think with the pass rush in the secondary of Louisville, that's pretty strong and probably both top 3 units in the ACC. I don't think Haynes King's known to make mistakes, bro. And if you can force him to mistakes, you're not going to have a fun time trying to win. Now, Haynes is a good running back for Georgia Tech, and they actually have a pretty solid offensive line. But I think just in terms of just how this game matches up, man, yeah, I got Louisville, bro. It's simple.
I agree. Louisville's returning the 9th best run defense in the country from last year, rolling in the best offensive or the best offense.
Giolette's going to potentially be a day 1, day 2 pick.
Oh, I agree.
He's nice.
The only thing Georgia Tech really has for them is they've allowed no sacks through 4 games, which hats off. That's actually
but Florida State sucks. Georgia State, you should do that again. Syracuse, that's kind of impressive.
No, but you should. Usually a team can stumble into quarterback scramble, especially with the offense they run. QB scramble behind the line, sack. But they've allowed none. And Georgia Tech is 5-0 on the road against ranked opponents. So that's kind of scary, but that's really that they have. And Louisville's going to roll.
Dude, you should have just wore your Louisville hoodie to this podcast.
I was just trying to poke a little here in the
Well, I'm not. I'm actually I'm wearing my girlfriend's college hoodie. So
he's simping. It's okay.
I guess.
So this game's at a flat 10. Do you guys think Louisville covers? Do you think Georgia Tech?
See, this game, Georgia Tech wasn't that good last year, but they were able to still compete in this game. Granted, it was week 1. I don't know. Louisville hasn't played anyone. That's the problem. I don't know. That's tough, man.
A flat 10 scares me. If it was
11
or 12,
in roulette when it lands on green, I'm gonna go for a push. I honestly think this could be a 10-point game.
That 10 is such a scary number.
That's
Vegas
one. I gotta send you a parlay for this weekend, Justin.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, one too. I'm broke as well.
Yeah, last week was we kind of fell flat on our face. So we're due for a good comeback week.
You fed me to the Wolves for the last 2 weeks, and I've hit 2 bets.
Hey, I told you to take Toledo money line. You just didn't.
Yeah,
that's true. I didn't listen to that. I thought you were crazy.
All right, so
I really wasn't.
No, you were extremely correct. It's just the terrifying part.
So wrapping up the showdown at L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium there. Moving on to another 3:30 game in the Big Ten. This game you're going to have Paramount Plus to watch. Kind of weird. I don't think I've ever watched a football game on Paramount Plus.
I thought it was CBS.
Number 11.
No,
I was
Paramount owns
reading.
CBS.
Well, yeah, I know that, but it's going to be on.
All
I
right,
guess
so
they use YouTube TV, so it's really not going to matter.
It's going to be their national game, but if you don't have YouTube TV, you got to get Paramount.
That's kind of dumb. What the? Anyways,
Welcome to post-cable existence.
yeah, this is the new way. Anyways, number 11, USC traveling to Ann Arbor. USC making their Big Ten debut as an official Big Ten team. They're 5.5-point favorites. We get to see Alex Orji square off against Miller Moss. I'm going to give a little
Why
bit
are
of
you
my,
even naming that as a matchup?
I'm going to give a little bit of my thoughts. There's a little facetiousness in that if you didn't notice. I'm going to give my thoughts on this one a little bit later on when we move on to a different segment. Yeah.
I'm going to have a question for you in our post-weekend recap, and I think you know what it's going to be.
I'm sure.
Um,
I'm not a Michigan homer, I promise.
Bullshit. But looking at this game, my biggest question is honestly, can Michigan move the ball? Can the offense have a pulse? Because if they do, they might have a chance. Honestly, I don't know. This game kind of scares me, and I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole because USC showed us they can play defense, and in doing so, still let up almost 400 yards against LSU. So it's like, well, they played a good team.
Is Michigan going to get 400 yards in a game this season?
No, absolutely not. So USC is going to win. But I think Michigan's defense is better, but I don't know. It's their secondary's got a couple holes just because they're playing so many young guys.
I didn't realize Davis Warren's touchdown interception ratio is 2 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. That is terrible.
That's why we have a segment.
Hence the reason he's not in the game. Hence the reason he's not starting against USC.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my thing is that how improved is that USC O line? I don't think LSU necessarily has a strong defensive line unit, especially because they just misuse Harold Perkins. How much if USC can kind of block Michigan and be able to hit some passing plays, I don't think Michigan stands a chance. They will have to win this game 10-7. I honestly do buy this USC defense holding Utah State to 0 points, which Utah plays them a week later. And you know what? Utah State kind of competes with them. I know they're without Cam Rising, but that Utah defense normally just houses any team not capable of having a pulse on the offensive side.
Right.
I don't also that Michigan's secondary. I mean, yeah, Will Johnson's your guy, but I mean, you got Kyron Hudson, Zachariah Branch. Oh my gosh, Jacoby Lane. There's so much playmakers on the outside for USC, and if USC can spread the ball outside the numbers, I think Michigan's going to have a really tough time.
Honestly, I think this might look like Rams-Lions week 1. Moss just gets the ball out and 1-2 sack drop back.
Yeah, I mean,
it's ball game.
You're gonna have to give some man. You're gonna have to get some man looks and stack the box against USC. That's really how. And you're gonna have to just rely on your man coverage because if you play zone, you're gonna get beat with RPOs all day.
So USC 5.5-point favorite. Which way are we going with this, guys?
I'm taking USC 5.5.
Yeah, USC
5.5. All right, like I said, I'll get into that one a little bit later. Maybe a little tease. Moving on to the 4:00 game, we have Utah, number 12 Utah, traveling to number 14 Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State 2.5-point favorite. Nobody rolls into Boone Pickens Stadium and comes out alive.
That's probably one of my favorite stadium names.
Ollie Gordon, kind of struggling this year, 2.6 yards per carry, kind of not doing what we thought. And Cam Rising expected to play in this game, come back. So even with Cam Rising coming back, Oklahoma State the favorite here.
I never buy anything of Cam Rising injury reports. That's just been Kyle Whittingham's thing. He said that Cam Rising was going to come back at some point during the season last year, and he ended up being out the whole season. So I'm going to pretend that Cam Rising might play, but even with Isaac Wilson, I I don't know how good Alan Bowman will be throwing the ball because you're going to have to rely on Ollie Gordon a lot to have a lot of production because, I mean, Presley, he's an amazing receiver on the outside for Oklahoma State, but other than that, I mean, they're just not. I mean, Stribling's been all right too, but I mean, I don't know. I like Utah in this game, to be honest. I think if they're able to just ground and pound, I don't think this Oklahoma State defense is necessarily that good. I mean, Arkansas put up damn near 700 yards, and Arkansas was able to run and pass. I don't think Utah's going to be able to pass as much. But, I mean, you got Micah Bernard in the backfield, bro, and that he's been a beast for them the last couple seasons. So I'm going to take Utah in this game, man. I really like them. I like Kyle Whittingham. Both these, this is a great head coaching matchup in terms of just both building really foundational programs, but I got Utah.
Yeah, I think you just took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, I like Utah, especially if Cam Rising plays. Utah's going to dominate, but like you said, who the hell knows if Cam Rising comes back?
Right.
Ollie Gordon, probably, if their only key to winning is Ollie Gordon going for like 200 yards and doing something crazy.
Which I know he started slow, but that's definitely a big possibility. I mean, with Arkansas, you had to play catch up a little bit right there.
Right.
And then, I mean, Tulsa and South Dakota State, like, there's no point of putting a ton of miles on them if you don't got to.
Right. Like, this game's going to be kind of more their speed compared to the Arkansas game. There's not you can kind of ground.
Oh, dude, what's the over, Justin? What's the over under for this game?
I don't have that in front of me.
Over under for this game is Oklahoma State by 2.5.
No, I'm saying like the total.
Oh,
total
sorry.
For the game,
sorry.
yeah.
Over under is 52.5.
Okay.
The under.
That's an interesting.
That sounds like an underplay.
No, you guys. Do you guys think that
it's over?
Do you guys think that Oklahoma with favored by 2.5? Do you think that has something to do with Willingham playing games with the Cam Rising stuff?
Yeah,
and maybe somebody knows that he's not going to play.
If you look at the first week of last year when they played Florida, that line was at, I think, like 10.5, and it went down to, I think, 8.5. And that's basically news that Rising is like probably not going to play.
Yeah.
It'll depend on the line movement because this could change from an hour before Saturday, right? And if it moves in Utah's favor, I would say, yeah, Cam Rising's playing. If it stays or fades more towards Oklahoma State, yeah, Cam Rising's out.
I mean, there is, if you're looking to bet this, there is a little rule though. A home dog that in a ranked with a home dog that you think should not be a home dog, bet them. Because the Vegas usually knows something, especially when it's around a field goal. If it's like 2.5 to 3.5, 4, usually just take them. It's going to be a touchdown, at least. So that's my take, at least. That's what I've been.
So, what are you trying to say that you're going? You're going.
I might put a shekel or two on Utah, Utah to cover to see what happens.
They're on the road.
Are we going Utah across the board?
Utah. Sorry, I'm stupid.
I think we're going Utah across the board here.
I read that entirely wrong.
I like Utah more, but that's I wouldn't bet this game, but I would take Utah. I would bet the under.
Everything I just said, throw it out the window because it's not in Utah. I was completely incorrect.
As a Michigan fan, I don't know how much I could trust Alan Bowman in a big game. Especially if Rising does play. Like Noah said, I think Ollie Gordon would absolutely have to go off for Oklahoma State to win this game.
Or they have to hit some sort of explosive plays because that's how you beat Utah, man. You just gotta take your opportunities. Like that's how big games really come down to is who hits the most explosive plays and stays on schedule. Like I know it sounds really boring, but it's true. Just looking at it analytically. But yeah, I just don't see that happening for Oklahoma State, dude.
It would be weird to me to watch them play at that kind of pace.
Utah's secondary really hasn't been tested, so we'll see. But
it's Alan Bowman, dude. Like, I can't get over that.
It's not necessarily Alan Bowman. It's the receivers because I actually think Oklahoma State for the first time, you had Tylan Wallace, but I think for the first time in a hot minute, they actually have some pretty good receivers on their team.
Yeah, but wouldn't you love Alan Bowman in the maize and blue right now?
No,
I don't
Are you
know. I mean,
kidding me?
I would
Yeah.
take him over. I would take him over Davis Warren.
Over
he's not. Yeah, because he fits in the Oklahoma system that he plays in. Yeah, he fits that system. You know, he's not. He doesn't fit the system that Michigan was running.
Neither does Davis Warren.
Yeah, but I'm good on Alan Bowman, bro. Trust me. He held the clipboard for 2 years.
I'm just saying, I would take any competent quarterback at this point. Y'all got a kid and 2 bums.
I don't think it really I don't think it makes much.
I mean, you guys.
Let's be honest though. Like Davis Warren can make some throws.
Spartan fans are talking like Aiden Childs is some kind of.
He's
savior.
better than any QB.
I don't know if he's going to be.
Room.
How do you know if he's going to be a competent quarterback?
He's already better than any QB you have in your QB room.
How do you know? They haven't played nobody.
Because I've seen the throws that he makes versus the throws that your QB.
I think he's going to get tested against Boston College this week, especially rumor Nick Marsh might not be playing. But we're going to get to that game. Let's not spill the beans and get too off track here.
Yeah, we got one more game before that.
Let's go. Let's go to the SEC tomorrow, 7:30. Big showdown. Tennessee on the road at Oklahoma. Tennessee comes in at 7.5-point favorites. Rolling into Memorial Stadium. I think I read this right. Tennessee's outscored their opponents 191-3 on the season so far.
It would be 10.
That's pretty wild,
10.
dude.
10.
Yeah, Tennessee's scary.
Yeah.
I don't mess with them.
Yeah. So this is the first official SEC game for Oklahoma, by the way, and they're getting it at home against one of the teams that we really like for it to be a college football contender to win it all.
Right. I'll come out and say it. Oklahoma, Jesus, you better hope your receiving room's healthy, because if not, I don't know how good this Tennessee secondary is, but if Deion Burks is going to be your only real threat to light it up on the board, I mean, oh well. And Tennessee's pass rush is pretty good. Like I'd say, almost elite. I wouldn't put it. Like James Pierce Jr. is elite, but like in terms of just pass rush in general, like they have a pretty good, solid overall pass rush. I mean, Oklahoma's got to dominate the time of possession, man. That's really, you cannot give Tennessee a lot of opportunities to score. And how you do that, you got to run the football and hit your passing plays when you can. And like, if you're out with Farouk and Anthony, bro, like you just, it's not going to work out in your favor, especially with that O-line. But yeah, I think if Tennessee's just the more Tennessee is able to touch the ball, the higher percent chance they got to win. That's really how it's going to be. And because Oklahoma's defense is good, but there's only so much you can do when Tennessee's touching the ball, 5-6 times in the first half, and they're going to score 21-28. So
yeah, I mean, yeah. When Tennessee's offense is rolling up with already almost 2,000 yards from scrimmage, and by game 4, they're at 1,900 yards. It's kind of insane. It's going to be a boat race, and Oklahoma might not leave the harbor. I'm still not high on this Oklahoma team.
If it gets into that kind of game, Oklahoma. So if Tennessee gets into a track meet, Oklahoma can't hang. It's not conducive for them winning.
I will say if they had their receivers and if they're
Farouk and Anthony,
and I mean if their running back room could stay healthy, I think it could get to that in a theoretical world, but that's just not going to happen. I will say though, Tennessee's not going to be able to rely on the run as much. I will say that.
No, but when you're almost averaging a first down a pass, they'll be. Granted, they haven't played the competition where they needed to just.
Well, NC State was supposed to be competition.
Well, they were, but I mean, it's still they were able to run and set up passing and just.
But they didn't really get going until late in that game versus NC State. Like if Oklahoma's able to hang more than like three points, like if they could get to 10 or 17 and like only keep Tennessee to 21 at half, like Oklahoma's got a chance, but they just can't. You cannot let Tennessee get out.
Oklahoma needs to try and win the TOP. They need to run the ball and play smart. You can
win the turnover battle because Nico's not been great at taking care of the ball so far.
So Tennessee 7.5-point favorite. Which way we going?
Oh, jeez.
7.5.
I
think Tennessee wins by 10, 12. So
Tennessee.
You got Tennessee?
Yeah,
I'm going to go Tennessee on this one.
It's in Norman. I don't know. I'm still like decently high on this Oklahoma team. Like I still think they're a good football team, just missing a few pieces from being great and being that SEC dark horse like I thought they would be coming into the season.
If they had their weapons, that I would.
Yeah, no, for sure. God, I would have to if I had to put my life on the line, I'd put Tennessee -7.5. But this is just another game I wouldn't bet.
Okay.
There's a lot.
All right. So, but if you had to go, who are you taking?
Yeah.
Gun to your head. Pick one.
Life on the line. Gun to your head.
Oklahoma. What'd you say?
Oklahoma.
I'm taking Tennessee.
Okay. All right. So we're Tennessee across the board. Yeah. Let's move on to this 8 o'clock game because I want to spend some time on this because I want to hear what kind of smoke and bullshit's going to get blown
Justin,
my way.
Are you ready for this? You ready for me? No, I'm about to.
I'll walk you into it. And then I'll give you your time. I'll walk you into it.
Justin, what I'll say is you're about to spew some bullshit in like 3 minutes. So
yeah, here we go. So yeah, Michigan State traveling on the road to Boston College in the red bandana game, a night game. BC is going to be on fire. Boston College 6.5-point favorite, rolling in 2-1, coming off the loss to Missouri. MSU 3-0 for the first time since 2021. Back in the K9 year when they actually had somebody that could play on that team.
You say that like that wasn't 2 years ago.
It's like 3 years ago, bro. And if let me say one thing: if Kenneth Walker wasn't on that team, you guys probably would have been like 7-5 that year.
But we would have been like 3-9, bro. Like Peyton Thorne only played good because he had he had pretty good receivers too.
You seen what he did against
he's
4 interceptions.
He's benched. They're starting Hank Brown at Auburn. Like he's done.
I mean, and Speed Naylor just went off over the weekend too.
So let's move into this game a little bit because I want to hear. Because I know Andrew's going to prime the pump of the Sparty. So
you're about to be disappointed. I hope you know that. I'm so low on this game. All right, here we go. Keys for Michigan State to win. Nick Marsh not to be hurt. That would be terrible because Andrell Anthony's already hurt. Antonio Gates Jr.
Why'd you say Andrell Anthony?
Not Andrell Anthony. I'm so sorry. Alante Brown. We were just talking about Oklahoma. Alante Brown already hurt after week. Antonio Gates Jr. and Foster are good. They're not as good as Marsh, in my opinion, already.
You got Jaron Glover though. Jaron Glover's good.
Yeah, but they have a mid receiver room and then Marsh. It's like
I think Glover's like B plus.
I think Foster's the only standout amongst the mid receivers.
I think you're giving this receiving room too much shit.
I hope you know I hate my team more than Michigan fans do. I just defend them to no end.
How is your defense going to hold up against a legitimate dual threat quarterback?
Oh, that's what I'm terrified of. But hold on, let me finish my keys to Michigan State potentially winning. Nick Marsh Nick Marsh, if he's healthy, great. They'll have a good complement of receivers. Plus, they have Jack Velling, who's hopefully going to have his coming out game in the green and white. For some reason, it seems like Childs and him don't have any chemistry, I love that. Childs needs to continue to improve. He's shown sparks that he can be a pro. He's made pro-like throws on those 15-yard outs. The 2 throws to Nick Marsh last year were were upper-level QB plays. But what scares the shit out of me is Castellanos and his ability to run. This Boston College offensive line is actually competent, and MSU's offensive line running the ball was 80th in the country all season so far. I am deathly afraid, especially following FAU, and now that FAU week 1, but still. They also are now on their 3rd string right guard, which is very concerning. Granted, Dallas Fincher is the only guy with actual experience. Noah keeps rolling his eyes at me, and I see it, but Boston College wins and covers.
Wow.
We don't have horses
look
to
like
hang
you got a lot to say, dude. Go ahead.
Well, what I'll say is this: Michigan State secondary's actually been pretty good through the first 3 weeks. That's something that's been a fucking huge problem. I'm sorry for cursing, but like seriously, like that has been like the reason why we didn't like reason why we lost to Purdue that season was we couldn't cover at all. And I don't think really Castellano's arm honestly threatens me that much. I mean, he's only thrown 54 passes through 3 games, and he's been like
He is mistake prone, but I don't think he'll have to throw.
Like he played terrible. If he would have been like somewhat competent throwing the ball, like Brady Cook throwing the ball level, like he would have been fine. Like his arm does not scare me. What does scare me, is Boston College pass rush. They've been able to get to quarterbacks and been able to make quarterbacks feel pressure. Missouri did a better job on not doing that, but it's Missouri. They're an SEC school. They've been recruiting pretty well. They have solid O-line talent. I would be fine. I don't know if this BC secondary is necessarily that good.
I will say in the defense of
Isn't
that MSU,
Bill O'Brien out there, Boston College?
Yep.
Oh boy.
I will say
legendary Ohio State OC.
I will say in the defense of the Michigan State offensive line, while their run protection is garbage and god awful, Nate Carter's going to lose his life back there. Their pass protection has actually been top 20 in the country so far. Granted, they haven't played anyone minus.
Yeah, we haven't really played a legit pass rush yet.
They've still last week. Childs got pressured 3 times, and in an entire game of sending 4 to 5 people after a quarterback 80 times, that's pretty considerable.
You played Maryland. I mean,
I know
come on,
Maryland.
bro. Mike Loxley, dude.
6 times, but BC's defensive line is far superior than Maryland's.
I was being sarcastic.
I know you were. I'm so anxious for this game. I take everything seriously.
And going back to their week 1 win against Florida State, like, yeah, it meant a lot then, but dude, Florida State's like not good at all.
No.
Like
Norvell's like, dude, he could very well get fired.
He's not getting fired this season. It doesn't matter. No, he's.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm.
Come on, dude. You're a big Dion guy. Wouldn't Dion take the job there?
Although that would be pretty good for storylines, dude. Norvell's been recruiting fine, and what I will say is their hiring on the assistant staff was pretty poor evaluation wise. Dude.
Billy Napier's been recruiting good too, and he's about to get axed.
Well, once again,
it's just a rumor Lane Kiffin might take Napier's job.
No,
that's a rumor. My call for preseason that he's on the hot seat.
That's an upgrade, dude, going from Ole Miss to Florida.
Is it? Dude, Florida hasn't been shit for a while.
Florida's got more money. That's what matters.
So boys? What are we doing here before we get off the rails? Boston College 6.5.
I'm taking Michigan. I'm taking Michigan State, bro.
Michigan State to cover, or
yeah.
Okay.
Aim to probably win, but it's not my upset pick of the week.
Okay, all right. I like BC here. Andrew said he likes BC.
I hate that I like BC, but BC, I gotta go with my gut. I don't trust the team to play consistent enough. They show the glimpses.
You're the worst Michigan State fan ever.
No, yeah. I'm a jaded Michigan State fan. There's a difference. I sat through 4 years of
I did too. I was there.
Know. And I watch every snap. And I'm watching the downfall of Izzo that I'm not
just a lot of ways different than Mel Tucker.
All right. Well, Noah, you kind of alluded to it. We're going to move on to our college football upset of the week segment. I will say that this one was a little bit tougher than last week. We're going to start with Noah, and we'll just kind of move down the line here.
Get your upset pick of the week, champ. So far, the only guy to be 1-0 last week. I don't really like to even consider this an upset, but
we need a siren for this guy.
What do you mean you need a siren?
Every time he pumps himself up, we need to hit a siren, Andrew.
Every time he pumps him up, we just have a bike pump. Foom, foom.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna take Rutgers over Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's not been impressive this season. I mean, you squeak out versus Old Dominion and Marshall, but like you should be able to put up 50 against those guys, and then struggling against Vanderbilt. Like I know I hyped up Vanderbilt week 1, yada, yada, yada. But Rutgers on the defensive side is better than Virginia Tech. And I don't expect Virginia Tech's front 7 to be all necessarily that well. And Mon Guy's going to be able to run over everyone. And I don't like Virginia Tech in this spot. I know they're playing at home, and obviously you have Enter Sandman at Slane Stadium, yada, yada, yada. With all that being said, I think Rutgers has looked like the better team so far this season. Granted, they played Howard and Akron, but you know what? They put up 40-plus points against those teams, which I can't say the same that Virginia Tech would do. And Virginia Tech can't pass the ball. Like, their passing game is bad. Kyron Drones is not a good thrower. So yeah, I like Rutgers, man. They're a program. They're gonna get above 8 wins this season with their schedule. Like, they're a good team.
I will say that line is back down to 3.5 if you want to grab
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I would
Earlier today.
Yeah, I mean, I'd take money line, but I'd for sure take 3.5.
Oh, okay. Well, you said Drones isn't a good thrower, so speaking of that, I'll go with my pick. So we're going to move into the game that I didn't comment much on earlier, but we're going to bring it up now. USC Michigan, and I can't believe this is an upset because we are the defending national champions.
You guys got howled by Texas,
but
Texas
yeah, we're
is
moving. So yeah, my upset pick of the week is going to be Michigan over USC. As you mentioned, yeah, we got pounded by Texas pretty good. I think Texas's offensive line is probably a Joe Moore Award candidate offensive line. I think Michigan. I don't think USC's defensive line is going to control the line of scrimmage like Texas did. I think more Josiah Stewart, Mason Graham, and Kenneth Grant, they will get to the quarterback. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball on Michigan. I think they do have some mismatches on the outside of Will Johnson. Even though Michigan's safeties are pretty solid, I don't think Makari Page has given up a touchdown catch in his career. On offense, just keep it simple. Run the ball. You kind of found the formula last week. I know that this isn't Arkansas State defense, but we'll see. And give the ball to Mullings more. I think Kalel Mullings has to be your bell cow.
Yep.
And keep it simple. A lot of the RPO stuff, short passes, completions. The one concern for me with Michigan's offense is Colston Loveland may be out this week, and if he's out, that would kind of change things for me big time.
He'll have less than 100 passing yards, or Michigan will out.
So they're going to have to run the ball. They're welcoming USC into the Big Ten. We'll see if USC's how really physical they are. LSU, I don't think it's a very physical football team. I think that showed against South Carolina last week. So I'm going with Michigan, my upset of the week.
Before you go, Andrew, are you sure that USC's defensive line is not going to be able to control the line of scrimmage?
Am I sure?
Yeah. Are you positive?
I didn't say that they weren't going to be able to control the line of scrimmage. I said we've developed a formula running the ball, and maybe but who have they played? I mean, they did well against LSU, but
LSU's got two tackles that are going to be selected in the top 10, top 15. Michigan's O-line has nobody.
I don't know. I'm going with my pick, though. I like Michigan.
And what I'll say also is USC's got linebackers to fill the run gaps way better than – I mean, Texas did a pretty good job, but, like, Arkansas State, bro, like, there's –
But we're also talking about a USC team that's coming off being one of the worst defenses in the country last year.
Yeah, but they've retooled and rebranded.
I'm getting deja vu from last week when we shit on Noah's idea, and now we're both shitting on Justin's idea, and he's just going to be right.
I don't think so. The thing is, Mississippi State sucks.
Because I don't believe in LSU. So I mean, you can say that, and
LSU still might be a better team than
LSU should have beat USC. I think we can agree to that. They gave that game away, and I'm just not going to sit here and act like LSU is coming in with Georgia defense or something when they were the worst defense in the country last year. Like there's some kind of tough football team.
I get that, but I don't think you give USC's defense as much credit as they deserve. Like, you don't hold Utah State to 0 points, and you don't hold a team like LSU that's known for just running up the score Like they still scored 33 against South Carolina, and South Carolina's defense is legit. Like
you're a guy that doesn't like Damani Jackson, so I mean, there's a weak link in their defense.
He came. I thought he transferred out.
Oh yeah, you're right. He's at Alabama.
Yeah. So, no, I mean they transferred out the toxicity, man, and they've got their guys that they want. Like they completely revamped their whole defensive staff, and like it shows now. It's really going to be how much points can you put up versus Michigan, my opinion. But
I don't want to spend too much time on it. Andrew, get to yours so we can get into this NFL stuff.
Yeah, I'll make my cap real quick. I have the Virginia Cavaliers traveling to Coastal Carolina to take on the Chanticleers. Coastal
this should be quick because it won't be on TV anywhere you can find it.
Exactly.
Wait, is it actually not? Is it an ESPN Plus game?
Let me look. Doesn't tell me. Coverage ESPN Plus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm interested to hear this explanation.
Yeah. Well, basically, remember when I said team traveling that's probably not good enough to be deserving to win, traveling to another team's stadium and then favored? Well, this is a 3-point spread between Coastal and Virginia. Coastal is not favored. They're being given 3 points. And Coastal really likes to run the ball, and their QB Vasco has been very good. Already got 512 yards, 3 touchdowns, only thrown 1 pick. And the trend that I zeroed in on that made me really like this pick is teams that run the ball more than 30 times against Virginia have won the last 10 times. And Coastal runs the ball about 48 times a game, whether it's QB scrambles or there are 4 running backs that all almost have 100 yards on the season. And they're one running back that's got 200.
Bro, you're a bigger Coastal fan than you are a Michigan State fan. Holy.
Wow, you say that, but I have a poster at my house with the neon jerseys, so I wouldn't say that.
He's probably got a big Sparty on the
Why
front
did you buy the freaking?
It was given to me.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
it's actually dope. It's the metal print, and it's Stewart from 2018.
Yeah,
2012. It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
But even if it is the neons that I hate until they revamped them. The revamps were nice.
All right, boys. Well, that's a wrap on our college preview. We'll come back to these games, I think, Sunday?
Saturday, Sunday.
Sunday. We'll move on to the big boy football. Starting out in the 1 o'clock slate. Fighting Harbaugh is 2-0. J.K. Dobbins having a big resurgence out there in L.A. They're traveling to the Steelers, who are also 2-0, with Justin Fields as their quarterback, who hasn't had to do much. Let's talk a little bit about this game.
Fighting Harbaugh
with his Buckeye running back.
With his Buckeye running back. And Jesse Minter calling a great defense, by the way.
Oh, Jesse Minter's a stud.
Yeah.
I think he didn't get enough credit at Michigan. Like, obviously they had the talent, but dude,
and Mike McDonald, both of them. Neither of them got the credit they needed.
Now we got their old retarded grandpa calling the defense. But anyway.
Dude. You got Down Brown 2.0, baby.
Right.
Zero blitz every third down.
What's the over-under on this game? Let me take a look.
I don't know exactly.
The over-under is 35.
35.5, dude. I'd bet the under, dude. This is not getting.
This is going to be a slow game.
It's going to be classic Michigan football against the
Steelers.
Dude, this is like Iowa versus Nebraska, like last year. Like just 2 really slug teams that aren't like. We're going to see a defensive touchdown in this game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
especially from the Steelers.
Yeah, that's honestly like if you were gonna make a bet, anytime defensive touchdown, like seriously, like that's probably a good prop bet.
Or who gets to the quarterback more, TJ Watt or Khalil Mack?
Yeah. TJ Watt.
I mean, Khalil Mack's he's pretty good too.
Dude, he's old.
What's that got to
Isn't
do
he
with
the
anything? The guy had 17 and a half sacks last year, bro.
Justin, are you saying age is Khalil Mack?
Dude, do you watch NFL football? The guy was top 5 in the league in sacks last year.
Yeah, but you get who was one?
I don't know. I don't even remember.
I'm pretty sure it's TJ Watt.
I'm pretty sure he was hurt.
I'm pretty sure he's still hurt. Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Myles Garrett won.
I'm pretty sure Danielle Hunter and like Myles Garrett were like 1 and 2.
Yeah. I mean, Myles Garrett's a freaking freak.
But
yeah.
I don't like. I just wanted to throw this game in here because they're for obvious.
You just
reasons.
wanted to talk about Jim Harbaugh. We get it.
And they're both teams are 2-0, man. It's relevant.
The dollar on both, and then roll.
But you guys forget the Chargers do have Justin Herbert, and Quentin Johnson had a big week last week.
Yeah, question. I think
JJ McCarthy mode.
I will say, I actually do think Quentin Johnson's a good receiver. I know he struggled last year, but you know what?
He's rookie.
Yeah, he's a rookie. I mean, it's not like Chargers were amazing last year, especially with their head coach last year. But yeah, I don't know, dude. This game's gonna be like 16-10. Like it's gonna be ugly football.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Chargers on this one. What do you guys got?
I got Chargers with JJ 2.0.
My God, Justin Herbert's way better than JJ. Sorry.
He's going to hand the ball off 25 times and throw it for 200 yards and then walk off the field with a win.
Who do you got?
Exactly what JJ did.
We're going straight up in the NFL.
Chargers, dude, they played the Raiders and the Panthers week 1 and week 2. Like,
yeah.
I want to go with obviously anything can happen in the NFL any given week, but in terms of just winning slugfest so far this year, I want to go Steelers.
Okay, so we got 2 Chargers, 1 Steeler. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's go over to the NOLA. The Eagles.
This is an interesting game.
Going to New Orleans. New Orleans been the surprise team so far. I mean, they've straight mopped the Cowboys up to be expected. I think they mopped up Carolina in week 1. I mean, which is to be expected.
I don't think mopping up the Cowboys was to be expected.
No, that was not.
No, not to be expected. I'm sorry. Don't let me mince my words here.
I was gonna say though.
Yeah, that was not to be expected. But yeah, the Eagles, man, they're an up and down football team, man, and I don't know. This could be a spot here for the Saints. What do you guys got?
I almost agree with you. The last year Saints kind of scares the shit out of me. Just the visuals of Carr just playing like shit for 17 games kind of scares me. But then what he's done the last 2 weeks, it's almost hard to deny. Like it's new year, new leaf, I guess. Momentum doesn't carry, and he's who he was when he got drafted. And I think I'd go Saints here too. I like Eagles don't look as good as we thought they were going to be. No one looks as good as we thought they were going to be, but
it doesn't help that they don't have AJ Brown either.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a vital piece in your receiving room. I will say Philadelphia's secondary is kind of concerning.
Mm-hmm.
And with a quarterback that's been playing really well, which kind of sucks because I really wanted to see Spencer Rattler play this year. So that's probably not going to happen anymore. No. So but with that, yeah.
You're a Spencer Rattler guy?
Yes, I'm the biggest Spencer Rattler guy you'll ever meet.
Why?
It's his distant cousin, dude. You ever seen the haircuts?
That's valid. He's got a better hairline than Rattler does, though.
Yeah.
Did you not watch Spencer Rattler play at South Carolina?
I did, and then I watched him play in the league.
I also watched him get benched at Oklahoma too.
Yeah, but that's different. That's a generational quarterback, bro.
Generational quarterback.
I wouldn't say generational, but I mean, a really good. I mean, he got benched for a Heisman, bro. Is that really that embarrassing?
No, I mean, but I wouldn't go with generational quarterback though.
I mean,
I think he's going to be a jag in the NFL.
Well, we don't know yet. That Bears O-line's
dude. He's in Chicago, bro. Quarterbacks. When's the last time that I'd have to go back to Jay Cutler. The last time the Bears had a decent quarterback. You probably don't even know who Jay Cutler is.
I know who Jay Cutler is. Shout out Vanderbilt.
Yeah. I think Williams is going to be a Panther before too long.
Yeah, that is really going to die. But back to this game. Yeah, I'm gonna go New Orleans. I really like. If this was in Philadelphia, probably lean a little bit different. But they've been hot, man, and I don't see them slowing down yet.
Yeah. Kamara looks awesome.
Which he's on my fantasy team. So
Kamara's probably been the best running back in the NFL this far. I mean, through 2 weeks. I mean, small sample size, but
It's
I'm gonna go with
impressive what he's doing.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles in a get right here. I think Saquon has a big day. You still got Slim Reaper. What's Slim Reaper? The Alabama kid. Devontae Smith. Yeah, I know AJ Brown's out, but there's plenty of weapons, and Sirianni, they got to pick it up, dude. I think he's 2-7 in their last 9 games. We talked about them before. Jalen Hurts has looked awful average, but if this has to be the get right week for them.
But he's looked healthy.
Yeah,
in terms of running the ball.
I'd be careful on this game just with the short week. Only having the 5 days, and they kind of sold the game on Monday against the Falcons.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just I think it might just be a little too short of a break with that emotional get let down. But I don't hate the get right.
Going on the road too.
Right.
That's another big thing.
The get right idea, I don't hate that. That's what gave me pause is that it's at home and then the short week. But I don't. All right. There. It's a toss up, honestly. But
final 1:00 game. Texans traveling to Minneapolis. Sorry. Texans. That Bears defense is pretty good, or the offense just had a slow game last week. I thought Stroud looked really good in the first half. Nico Collins was doing whatever he wanted. Bobby Slowick, Houston, probably one of the better young offensive coordinators in the league. Vikings kind of a surprise this year. Kevin O'Connell just keeps on, whoever plays quarterback gives him a chance to win. Sam Darnold playing the best football of his NFL career.
Shout out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I didn't see the Vikings beating the 49ers last week, and I don't really see them beating the Texans, but they've kind of proved that they're unpredictable.
I don't think the secondary difference between Minnesota and Chicago is two separate playing fields. Like, yeah, Stroud wasn't able to get going, but like that Bears defense, legit. Like, let's be honest. Like, if the Bears had a competent O-line, I actually think they'd be pretty good. But their O-line's probably the most important thing in any level of football, no matter who. Like, yeah, you can kind of get away with it at younger levels, but dude, I mean, in the NFL, you can't have a bad O-line and be successful. So I would go the Texans here. While I don't think Minnesota's bad by any means, I like Houston a lot more. I know Joe Mixon's injured or supposedly not going to play, but I don't care. I think you're going to be able to light the secondary up.
I like Houston here as well, but I do. I would look at their injury report. Addison and Jefferson are questionable. They're supposed to come back this weekend, but we'll wait for tomorrow to.
Jalen Naylor breakout game. Here we come.
Why do you beat me to every point I'm about to make, even when I'm mid-sentence?
Here goes a homer pick.
I was about to. Jalen Naylor.
He's actually been he's
their second leading receiver so far this season.
He's scored 2
yards, 2 tutties.
Yeah,
Jalen Naylor breakout game. Jordan Addison or Jay Jetta's gonna get all the coverage.
I actually just think I dropped him. I think I actually just dropped him in fantasy because
that was a mistake. Speedy Naylor's about to go for $150 and 3 touchdowns.
Andrew, you sound like you're leading the Vikings here.
I'm not. I just want to see Jaden Naylor have a good season because
you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna go with the Vikings. Brian Flores has been you talk about their secondary. They still got old Harrison Smith back there leading the way. And Brian Flores.
Now he's old, dude.
Brian Flores has been a pain in people's ass. You seen after the game, Brock Purdy told him, "Man, your guys' scheme is crazy," and he's been tough on a lot of people.
Brock Purdy also relies on freaking his whole entire scheme. Like, bro cannot make a second read. Let's keep that in mind.
He's also probably got some of the best trio of weapons in the NFL.
Right, but like I'm just saying, like. Brock Purdy's not gonna 9 times out of no, I won't say 9 times out of 10, but like 6, 5, like he's not gonna make a play on his own more than he is.
I don't know. I like the Vikings in this game personally.
All right, I'm flipping my pick. Vikings, Jalen Naylor breakout game.
Oh my
Here we
God,
go.
whatever.
Let's go. He
What
convinced
do you
me.
got, Noah? Houston.
I forgot about Brian
I'm
Flores.
going Houston. I also think Houston's defense is pretty good too. Like,
Okay.
I think Sam Darnold might finally have his first hiccup of the season.
So next game, we got Miami going to Seattle. This game's relevant for a couple reasons. Obviously, Tua out with the concussion, and we don't know
my fantasy team
when he's going to come back. I don't know how effective Skylar Thompson's going to be in his role. Seahawks starting off 2-0 under new coach Mike McDonald. I think Kenneth Walker might be hurt again.
Great.
DK is going to play. I think Geno Smith had a good week last week. I kind of just threw this game in here because it was relevant, a 1-1 team versus a 2-0 team. But I think Miami, they got some problems.
Skylar Thompson.
Oh shit. Oh god. Oh, they do have Tyler Huntley if they want to go like the Alex Orgy route. Okay. Yeah, I don't got too much, guys. I'm gonna pick Seattle. I don't think it's that tough.
I'm going Seattle too. Kenneth Walker's questionable. Didn't practice Tuesday, according to Seattle insiders. If Kenneth Walker plays, it's Seattle. Otherwise, it's a coin flip, and I'm not touching this game with a 10-foot pole.
Kenneth Walker, I mean, he's valuable, but is he like that valuable?
He's their offense.
I wouldn't. I mean,
yes,
he's a vital.
He is the pacemaker. He's he's got the same role in Seattle that he did at Michigan State.
I wouldn't go that.
Oh no!
I would not go that.
He's vital, bro, but he's not that. He's not like that vital.
No, wait. It's the same role. It's not the same to the same degree.
Dude,
but
Charbonne's still a good running back. What?
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker is going to get you. Okay, move on. I won't make my point.
They have 3 pretty good receivers.
Move it on.
Move it on. He looks
Move
like
it on. Noah doesn't care.
No, I'm just saying. What?
Kenneth
Walker. No.
Okay, move on then.
No, but your point is wrong. The spread. Yes, dude. The spread when he was at Michigan State. If he was hurt at Michigan State, dude, that would move probably a field goal.
Devastating.
In this game, I don't think like it's that vital. Like the Dolphins are not that good. Like
no, but Kenneth Walker allows them to set up. Kenneth Walker sets up their passing game the same way he did at Michigan. All right,
dude, you look like a professional at that, bro. All right, well, here we go. We're going to move on to the Ravens and Cowboys at Jerry World.
Ravens by 50.
Baltimore 0-2, dude.
I don't care.
After
what I saw last week, no,
I think Justin was right earlier when he was calling the bounce back, but I think the bounce back is for the Cowboys, not for because they're too good of a roster not to play better than they did last week. I'm not saying they're going to win, but this is a bounce back where they almost win, if not win.
Oh, shoot. Nate Wiggins is going to be hurt. Ooh. And Hamilton's questionable. Ooh.
Yeah, that Ravens by 50 ain't looking so good anymore, is it?
But Dallas doesn't. The thing is Dallas doesn't have a run game.
No. And CD and Trayvon are both questionable, too.
Are they questionable for game time or like for multiple weeks?
They say they're going to be back on Sunday, but
I think the Cowboys are trotting out Zeke Elliott and Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah, which the Ravens' run defense is relatively good, anyways. So, it's if you're without 2 very vital parts of your secondary, I don't care who the Cowboys got. Dak Prescott is a gunslinger, dude, and he'll put up numbers, especially if they have weak points in the secondary. So, with that being said, if Hamilton and Wiggins are playing, because Wiggins has looked pretty good,
Yeah, probably the best rookie corner in the NFL.
Yeah. I'd probably. See, the problem is there's just too much with this IR bull crap, and just everyone always questionable. I'm going to still go Ravens. I think they'll pick up their first win.
What you just said is why I don't watch NBA anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of every sport, bro.
It's load management.
Well, I don't know why you're load managing when you're 0-2. That doesn't. Well, I guess that's kind of what the Clippers did, but anyway.
It's like this every week in the NFL. Everybody's got 5-6 guys that are questionable.
We don't know who's actually on the IR till Friday's injury report comes out.
Yeah. Like, all I know is who practiced on Friday. If they didn't practice on Friday, they're not playing.
Like last year, Taylor Decker and Ragnow were on the IR Monday to the entire season.
Yeah.
They probably just didn't want to practice, bro.
Not Decker was he was fighting injury, but Ragnow was fighting some injuries the entire week.
But I believe I got the Ravens here in this one. I don't believe in the Cowboys. Their run game is non-existent. They're going to have to throw the ball a ton. They lost Dan Quinn on the defensive side as their DC. Their defense is kind of taking a step back as well. And Lamar's got to have a get-right game.
Yeah.
So we got Ravens across the board.
I got Cowboys. Get bounce back.
Cowboys? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got a couple more NFL games to get through and then a couple more questions and we're done. So we'll move along here kind of quickly. Chiefs and Falcons. Falcons coming off the win against the Eagles and their bounce back. Patrick Mahomes didn't look so good last week.
Yeah, but he does have a third factor into the game. You got the run, the pass, and the ref game. So,
Good point.
So do the Falcons.
Kind of.
They got away with a little bit.
You know what stat? You know what stat I saw? Patrick Mahomes has like the most interceptions called back in his career with like 17 because of penalties. So
Jesus.
Pacheco is on IR, which is kind of huge for him. You're without Hollywood Brown too.
Dude, they got Carson Steele, bro. You know who Carson Steele is?
Oh yeah, UCLA running back. UCLA running back, bro. Like you act like I don't watch football.
And they signed Kareem Hunt too.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That guy's still in the league.
Samaje P. Ryan.
He'll be kicking people before you know it. Oh god. Jeez, I really don't like this game at all. I'd go Chiefs. I'm not bought into Atlanta. I think they kind of escaped with a good win, but escaped with the win against the Eagles. I really like this Kansas City 1-2 receiving, and if they had Hollywood, I would really like this receiving room even more. But with Rasheed and Xavier, like I think they're going to put something together. I think, like you said, if Carson Steele, he doesn't have to be Isaiah Pacheco, run through absolutely everyone in your way type of guy. But like if he could maintain, if he's just 3 to 4 yards to carry and like keeps them like have a good success rate, I think they'll be fine. So yeah, I'd take them over the Falcons. I don't. Not buying it.
For the exact same reasons, but the opposite, why I chose the Cowboys in the last game. I'm going Falcons in this one just for they're going to ride that emotion. They were able to tough out a win on Monday, and on the short turnaround, that adrenaline probably doesn't wear off as much, and they're relatively healthy. But also, can we just talk about for a second how Rutgers is growing these bruising running backs on trees?
Dude, my guy might be like the first running back taken in this next.
Oh, but it's Pacheco straight to Manungai, and they both just run through people.
Yeah,
Well,
you kind of have to do that to have a successful offense at Rutgers, but
dude, it's the Shiano way, dude. Chopping wood.
Well,
dude,
Rutgers is just
New Jersey Italian guy. He's going to teach you to kill people.
And Rutgers is just a physical football team to begin with, like
right.
Yeah.
I just think it's crazy how they just replaced. It's like the Wisconsin. They just replaced one after another.
So you
not for that history, but still.
Yeah.
Are you a Falcons or
Yeah, I'm
Chiefs?
going Falcons.
Falcons. All right, I'm going to go with Chiefs. Not for the reasons that you would think. The Chiefs defense and Steve Spagnuolo, I think they're going to shut down Kirk Cousins. McDuffie, he's probably going to lock Drake London down.
I don't know about.
I don't see that front seven with Chris Jones. And those linebackers have been very good against the run. And Kirk Cousins, dude, he still don't look right, and he's gonna dial up pressures to get to him.
I was saying the same thing about Aaron Rodgers too, and then Aaron Rodgers just put on a performance tonight.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers looked very good,
but
tonight.
It's against the Patriots.
The Patriots had through 2 weeks they had one of the best defenses in the league.
It's the fact that if the way that Aaron Rodgers moved tonight, he looked
right. That gives
himself.
me a glimmer of hope for maybe Kirk can. I mean, he was never a runner, but if he needed to
but he was an improviser. Like he got outside and he was able to make some
right.
runs.
So maybe that just gives me a little bit of hope that Kirk can come back.
I'm not going to put Kirk Cousins in the same light as Aaron Rodgers. But,
no.
Maybe at the start of last year, but that's about it.
No, exactly.
All right, so we got one more. There's a Monday night doubleheader. The first early game is kind of poop, so we're going to cap this part of it off with the Commanders at Bengals.
You think this is that much better?
But see, the Bengals have to win, and I think it's relevant because Jaden Daniels has looked really good for the Commanders.
Put some respect on my preseason offensive rookie of the year candidate.
Right.
I called it back in July.
The Bengals are coming off a loss against the Chiefs, but the Bengals looked more like the Bengals last week.
You know what?
So I think this game's kind of relevant to talk about.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. God, I don't even know who I'd take in this game. I'd probably take the Bengals, but is T. Higgins gonna play? I don't know.
Something seems like it's kind of going on there with that whole T. Higgins situation.
This team is about to blow up, and not having a consistent running game has been a big problem. I don't know. The Commanders' defense hasn't been necessarily amazing, but I would take the Bengals just looking at it. If they're able to just be the normal Bengals offense and put up good passing numbers and have a decent run game to support it, I think they'll be able to come away. But I don't know. I really hate this matchup when I look at it. I don't even know if I might watch the other game, guys. I'm going to be honest.
What do you got, Andrew?
I agree with Noah. The Bengals are toeing the line of radioactive garbage.
Whoa! I didn't go that far. I'm just saying, like, it might be time to revamp their roster. I wouldn't call them radio. I wouldn't call them radioactive.
Not garbage, but what I'm saying, they're going
they're top. It's a bit
radioactive toxicity. They're towing that, like Eagles last year. They're towing that line, getting to the point where they might just be fade this team the rest of the season.
Right.
We'll see them next year. And I love Jaden Daniels. Like I said when we opened this game preseason. All right.
I think he's trying to tell you something, dude. He's done that gesture a lot.
I know he wants it.
Dude, you know how to get to the word studio.
Do I?
Yeah, you probably do. Yeah,
LTU.
It's right across the street from LTU, bro. If you want to keep on making those gestures, you can pull up.
I'm more of using it of him glazing some of these people.
I've glazed 2 people. How many players do you glaze a day in this podcast?
Hey,
5 or 6 minimum.
No, he glazes whole teams.
Yeah.
That's true. Unless we're talking, yeah.
What team have I?
Louisville.
I'm not
Miami.
Okay, but I'm not the only one that's glazed Miami.
You glazed K-State pretty hard after that call. You were glazing Jason Candle before the Mississippi State
get some picks right, and you'll be able to glaze too.
Yeah. I mean,
He's
we could add up
himself now.
Right. Now we're just gonna keep track of everything around here.
Fine.
Anyway, Jaden Daniels and the Commanders are gonna win.
Oh wow. Yeah, I like Trey Hendrickson to make Jaden Daniels' life hell. He's one of my favorite DNs. Dude, the guy's a throwback. He don't wear no gloves or anything. He just straight gets after the quarterback. It's Bengals all day.
Very old.
You sound
head
like a
day.
Michigan State
You
announcer
sound-
talking about
you
Cal
sound-
Halliday.
You just sound like an old head, bro.
That's
He
it.
plays the game the right way.
Yeah. The way it's supposed to be played. Yeah. Hey, 2 tight ends and a fullback, bro. That was my time.
Run the wing tee.
Right. Hey, I didn't go to an all-white school that can't run a spread offense.
Hey, Heartland runs a spread, bro.
Yeah.
I miss the fullback.
Right.
Make fullbacks great again, guys.
Exactly. Yeah. We stand fullbacks on this.
We used to wear cowboy collars. You know, we were tough guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to the receipts thing. I wanted to make a reference. I don't know if you guys watched this show, The Game. I was gonna say keep receipts like Jason Pitts, but you guys probably don't get that reference, do you?
Nope.
Well, if you got that reference, let me know in the comments.
You got a pick or no?
He already picked. You went first.
I won't think.
It's your turn.
All right, really quick. You know, I got the Bengals. So just really quick over this, real quick. Most desperate team to get a win this week.
Kind of the team we just talked about, probably the Bengals.
Are we talking NFL or college?
NFL.
Yeah, the Bengals. The Bengals or the Ravens?
Bengals? Okay. Yeah, I got the Ravens too. And I guess this can go for the Bengals as well because both teams are 0-2, and over the last 32 years, only 11% of those teams have made the playoffs that started 0-2. So that'll be interesting to see. Both teams obviously being preseason contenders. So yeah, I can go. I went with the Ravens, but I guess the Bengals kind of goes hand in hand as well.
I think I'd hedge the Lions as well.
Yeah.
They've just played like shit the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
they
but it was still
good.
Well, they played fine in week 1. Like it wasn't great, but like it was good enough to win. But last week they played probably their worst game in a while. And
I'm just saying, if Goff puts another game on the list of worst 6 performances in his Lions career, I'm gonna lose it.
I'm telling you, bro, Goff he's gonna be more figured out this year.
Yeah,
that's okay. Just hand the ball off to your two Pro Bowlers.
Like he's not that. Like after like the Rams made that Super Bowl, and I'm not saying he was particularly great, but like after that first year, bro, the Rams were kind of figured out.
I think teams are kind of figuring out that the Lions pass game kind of relies over the middle of the field.
Right.
And trying to take that away, you know what I mean?
Tampa 2 looks all day, baby.
Yeah. And like the nonsense I heard today, my buddy texted me and told me Mel Kiper was on TV saying that the NFL should ban the too high safety look.
Why?
They were talking about that on McAfee today.
Yeah.
Why?
Because the offensive production's down and the passing game is down.
Who gives us crap? No offense.
They'll figure out a way to beat it. It's how this game works.
Run the ball.
I mean, I get that offense makes you guys money. So I guess if you're looking at it from a business perspective, sure, I guess. But like, why would you eliminate that? That is so stupid.
Yeah.
I think, Justin, you're right. That was killing me with the Lions last week. Why'd they not run the ball more?
Yeah, they should have ran the ball more.
Yeah,
why they? I get Dan Campbell took credit for it after the game. He came out and was like, I mean, this was our game plan the times we beat them twice last year. But then when it's not working at halftime, Dan, why are you not running the damn?
Well, and obviously the Bucs are going to make adjustments after losing.
Right.
I mean, I like Jared Goff, but once you get him out of like the scheme of the game and the script of the game, I just feel like he's not enough of a gunslinger to just lead a team.
Dude, when he has to make go ahead, Andrew. Before
he built such a good offensive line and got these backs and tight ends around him.
Right.
If you watch Goff go off script and try to make throws and stuff, like it looks completely different than on script stuff. Like, yeah, he has that occasional, like, okay, this is why you were a first round pick or first overall pick, but then he has those moments where you're just like, I kind of wish we had Matthew Stafford right now. So
I mean, yeah, I like Goff, and I understand he's a system quarterback. He's never going to be a top 10 quarterback. He's probably going to fall from that
but you
16
think
to 10 range.
you think
But
about it though. There's only a handful of quarterbacks that aren't system quarterbacks in this
no,
league.
100%. And I'm very
True.
happy with Goff, and I'm happy we signed him. We had to sign him. But I also understand that he's not going to throw for 400 yards very often, if ever a season.
There's some cause for concern. I mean, he was still second in the NFL in passing yards last year, but
Right.
like Noah said, I think it is the NFL. I think defensive coordinators are going to kind of figure him out a little bit more.
And then it's on Ben Johnson to change the offense.
Like
Yeah.
who's not a system quarterback? Patrick Mahomes. I don't think Justin Herbert's a system
You
quarterback.
can't even say Lamar's not, because they tailored that offense to him.
Right.
That's a
No.
system.
But Lamar would be like these are guys that would be fine in any like you can plug
Lamar
and
was
play
shit
out.
outside of the 2 years that he had his offense tailored to him.
The two best quarterbacks in the NFL are Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I think Justin Herbert would be fine in any like
Yes, Justin
in terms
Herbert
of in terms of talent, like he's just I know he doesn't put up the great numbers, but look who he has in Los Angeles.
I think Matthew Stafford's not a system quarterback.
Herbert's not really asked to do that much either, though.
Stafford can
But
just kind of
but when
throws you
Herbert's
at
had to step up in a lot of situations, he's been fine. I mean, like Hurts, I think is a system quarterback. I think if he goes to a different team, he's not as successful.
Would you say Rodgers?
No. Well, maybe
he's a fringe, I think.
I think if we're talking prime, no. If we're
prime,
talking
now, yes. Now he's 40. He kind of at 40 he needs it to be.
I mean, Tom Brady was no system quarterback at 40. Let me say, but
and Tom Brady's the greatest to ever do it.
He also probably took some.
Well, yeah, he had 100%.
Is Baker a system quarterback?
That's actually a great take. That's a great take. Because that offense is not built for him. It's just an offense that's built, and they put him in, and he worked.
Yeah, and I mean, like the Browns, dude. His tenure there got ruined by injuries. So
it did. They had 1 year. That 1 year that they made a playoff run. I don't remember what year it was. They were a ton of fun to watch too. Baker was balling.
And then like the only other guy I'd say that's not, it's like CJ.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But like other than that, I think most other quarterbacks in the league are. Maybe I think Burrow's a system quarterback.
Yeah, I can agree with that. All right, boys. Well, that was a good one. We're coming up on.
Oh wait. Whoa. We have one more question. Most disappointing team through 2 weeks.
Bengals, Ravens.
I actually went something different. I for that one I went with Jacksonville.
I like that. Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence just signed that big deal in the offseason, and through 52 starts, he's 20-32. He was supposed to be a generational quarterback, the next big thing. He's been okay, but he's been underwhelming.
He's just been average.
Yeah, he was actually really good at Clemson. Like his freshman year at Clemson, I mean, dude, this guy's going to be like one of the best QBs of all time. Still young though, and still has time. But the most disappointing team for me is Jacksonville because
is Dylan Raiola the next Trevor? No,
yeah, he wants to be the next Mahomes.
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of a hot take. When the year Lawrence, like his last 2 years in college, I was not a fan of him.
I never thought he was like.
I never thought he would. Yeah,
I thought he would be a good quarterback in the NFL. I didn't think he was generational.
I thought he was good.
That word gets thrown out way too much.
I thought after watching him as a freshman at Clemson, I thought he was really that good.
Well, it was the same shit with Tua. Like when they met in the playoffs, it was my quarterback's never lost a game, and Alabama was my quarterback's never lost a game.
Right.
Tua was kind of different in college, though.
Still, they both were like that same level. I didn't see either of them as better than the other. They were both really good.
Yeah. For my most disappointing team, I'm gonna go the Colts. They play in 2 close games and they're not able to squeak out of one. Now, not everything's perfect. You didn't have Josh Downs, who I think is an impactful receiver for this team. You don't have him in those games. It's just like. I think Anthony Richardson's good, but what is his ceiling? as your starter. And then I don't think this defense has been particularly great either. So we'll see. They play the Bears, so they're about to hopefully they're either going to blow them out or play in the most boring game possible. But yeah,
If they lose to the Bears, dude, they're done in the AFC South.
oh yeah, no, I mean, well, there's still a lot of season left, but like it's an uphill battle for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everyone else in the AFC South is 0-2 too. So except what's their face? I don't have it pulled up in front of me. Houston
Texans.
So, yeah. So
Yeah.
but like Tennessee's 0-2, and which Levis is terrible. Who's worse, Levis? Oh, actually, I'm not gonna ask that.
Or
question.
Davis Warren.
No, I was gonna say though, like, who's worse, Bo Nix or Will Levis? Like
Will Levis.
Will Levis. I mean, but you can't roll Bo Nix out yet. You know what I mean?
I know you hate. I know you hate Bo
No,
Nix.
I've ruled out Bo Nix a long time.
Dude, you got to
Yeah.
try not to use your bias. You know,
He
what I
ruled him
mean?
out when he was at Auburn. There's a difference.
No, I just when I look at it, man, when I just look at his film from college, and I know he might progress to be something better, but I didn't see the first round hype. Like I saw him as like when there's a reason why he stayed an extra year. And he didn't look particularly different from his first year at Oregon to his second year. Like he did the same stuff that he was doing. They just had better talent around him. Like he was going to be, if he would have went to the draft that year, he would have been a 5th round pick. And it's honestly the grade I had for him coming into the draft. So
You'd be surprised. My buddy that's an Auburn fan every week would text me, I miss Bo Nix while he was at Oregon.
he was not good at
No, but it was just Auburn was so down bad with QBs.
Well, they still are. So, although I will say, they might get Lagway.
Yeah.
So
either way, I know I threw Bengals Ravens out quickly, but honestly, my biggest disappointment has been the Bears. Caleb has been dog shit.
I didn't have expectations for the Bears.
I didn't expect them, but I expected better from them. And they got so hyped up.
They spent a lot of money.
The overall expectation that I had with the amount of money they spent, drafting Caleb, drafting not neighbors. What is their receiver's name? Adunze. And I was just expecting more.
Plus, they got Keenan Allen, who lives on the injury report.
Right. I just was expecting more. And your only win coming off special teams and defense is not impressive to me.
Yeah, I feel like if Chicago had a ready-to-go NFL quarterback right now, though, they'd be
really good.
But Caleb is also 21.
Right. I mean, nobody's rolling him out. I mean,
we're not going
to throw him under the bus like Bryce Young.
Well, I don't know. That Carolina is just like that.
He got put in the worst. The best thing that can happen to his career is them benching him and eventually letting him go so he can go somewhere else.
Dude, he'd be God, where would he be perfect? What's a good destination?
I mean, dude, the guy's 5'9", 170 pounds. I mean,
go grab him. They just re-signed Herbert, didn't they?
Oh, dude, he signed an extension, I believe, 2 seasons ago.
So he's got a year left, 2 years left.
I mean,
go to San Diego and Harbaugh will just let him hand the ball off 30 times a game.
I mean, he could go to Seattle. I don't think that'd be terrible. Like, I don't know how long Geno has left in the league. Like, he is on
the Giants need a quarterback.
I think he would 1 or 2 years left on his deal.
Yeah, so I think Seattle would honestly be a good landing place for him, but they might take a quarterback in this draft. So who knows?
Yeah. Either way, you want to take us away, Justin?
Yeah. No, that was good. We went a little over on time, but we got everything in, college and NFL. Make sure you watch the follow-up shows to see where we hit on and where we didn't. I'm sure if Noah hits on the upset of the week, he'll let us know.
You'll hear about it.
We'll hear about it. Somehow or another, we're going to get a siren sound effect in here.
I'll get that in the works.
For when we gas ourselves up, we can kind of play it. But, it was a good show, boys. You guys got any final thoughts before we take off here?
Go, Andrew.
I was going to thank you guys so much for watching, hanging out with us. I promise I don't hate my team as much as I come out to hate my team, but Boston College is going to win.
He says no confidence.
I'll just say make sure you like and subscribe, and also follow us at our socials on X, Instagram, and TikTok at Fourth and Goal Pod. Andrew does a lot of great work over there, and if you could show us some love and support, that'd be greatly appreciated. And also, there ain't no podcast like the Fourth and Goal podcast. So
Yes, sir.
Peace, everybody.